a special registration to do contracts with Department of Logistics?
The DOL, there could be some specific registrations they have. If you're selling pharmaceuticals or you're selling weapons or ammo, there's special registrations on certain types of contracts that you would need. So in some cases, yes. For the most part, all you need is the basic registration in SAM to do business with the government. But some contracts require additional processes that they'll have a link to in the opportunity itself.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
And if you haven't done your DBE, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise through the Department of Transportation, that's another one you're going to want to do. Any of you that haven't gotten, that don't have my list of what you need, I got a list on here that shows you what you need to work with the government, all the different registrations, etc. Excuse me. I also have a list of what you need to do to work with FEMA. So if you guys need that, just let me know and I'll email it to you. Any other questions? Anybody else got a bid, solicitation, proposal to work on?
Hey, John, typically how long it takes for them to accept an award?
Everything's pretty much 30 days. When the government puts something out for bid, they usually give you 30 days to respond. They usually have 30 days to award it, choose a vendor. They give you 30 days to start the business or to ship. And you're, based on the Expedient Payment Act, you're guaranteed to be paid within 30 days. So on the average, it's about 30 days. But I see contracts that are put out and awarded within a week. I see contracts that are put out and it takes 6 months to award them.
Now, typically, could you ask for a deposit?
Sometimes.
On a contract?
Yeah, I mean, the worst they're going to say is no. Sometimes they do offer a deposit or half, or sometimes the entire amount's paid up front. That's what they call a simplified acquisition.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Mr. Lewis, you want to work on this one?
Yeah, you can check it out, John, please.
Okay. And is there a specific question or?
Well, I guess I was putting out a couple of price quotes from different companies. Just haven't received anything back yet. Am I doing something wrong here? I guess as far as getting price quotes or some type of price for these products, because it's kind of hard to find on the internet.
You're probably not doing anything wrong. Some of these opportunities, if it's not a small business set aside, then the manufacturer plans on bidding on it directly. Or they have a distribution network they work with of distributors that are going to be bidding on it directly. So you're going to find situations where they're not going to give you a quote. You're going to find situations where sometimes, like especially if you're getting 3 or 4 quotes, which I strongly suggest, you're going to find that some of the guys' prices are around the same, and then one guy gives you a price that's double or triple what the other guys have given you a price for. It's because they want you to bid, but they don't want you to be competitive. On occasion, they'll tell you they're bidding on it. You're wasting your time. Or they have a distribution network that's already bidding on it. You're wasting your time. But sometimes they don't, you know.
Gotcha. I had contacted the purchasing agent on this solicitation and, just asked a general question. But I didn't get any feedback like that as far as them saying that they was going to have money in mind or anything like that. So I understand what you're saying too as well, because it seems like this is like almost next to impossible to get any response or to even, together this type of configuration.
Some purchasing agents are not going to respond. I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense, but they don't return phone calls or emails. Some of them are great responders. I wouldn't bother them unless I absolutely have a question that I absolutely have to know the answer to. Because the more you call them, the more they might think if they award it to you, you're going to call them all the time, and they don't want to be bothered.
All right, gotcha.
But, if you've got a question, you absolutely need to know the answer to it in order to submit the bid, then you're not going to have a choice. I would email them first, see if they get a response that way. And if not, eventually you're going to have to call them.
Exactly. I just emailed purchasing agent once. That's all. They responded up pretty quick follow-up.
I get more responses than I not get responses, so.
Gotcha. I'm gonna throw this solicitation away, and I'm gonna look at something else, a couple of more.
Okay.
Anything, I'll email you or get on the 4 o'clock call. Training if I'm available by that time.
You got it.
Buddy.
Any other questions? Anybody else got a bid solicitation proposal to work on?
Yeah, John, this is Wally. I emailed you a solicitation this morning.
Okay.
And where am I having? Could you say it's on just a one-item proposal?
Okay. And what questions did you have?
Well, you know what? Because I've never really done a full bid, like, I think I will need just a walkthrough or what I need to make sure I, comply with their request. Even though they look very simple, but I want to make sure at least I need a example of one of my bids, so I know what I'm looking for sure and what they all mean. So I don't know if this is a good platform to do this, or if it's something that you can work with me on the side to go through one with me, because I've never really done one that I have to comply with all these different requirements that is needed. I tried to do the GOS last week and I didn't make it, so I think I need help with just putting this together. Then I can take it from there.
Okay. When I look at an opportunity, the first thing I look at is when it's due. Make sure you got plenty of time to submit your bid and what it's set aside for. Make sure that you qualify. If you're not a service-disabled veteran, you can't qualify for this. There's no sense wasting your time on it.
Is there not, and then didn't you say small business also?
Yeah, but it's service-disabled veteran-owned small business. So you have to be a service-disabled veteran and a small business in order to bid on this.
Oh, so I thought it's two different categories. Okay, well, that's all it. I wait for I see one that I qualify for.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, John.
Yes.
Now, John, on that same question that Mr. Wally is working on and stuff like that. Now, if you wanted to team up in the case where I have the service disabled set aside,
can't happen.
And an individual, another company, is it possible?
Nope.
Cannot?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Why is that so?
Because he's not a service-disabled veteran.
No, if I was
doesn't matter.
Veteran,
does not matter.
It doesn't matter?
If it's a service-disabled veteran, set aside, service-disabled veterans have to bid on it, win it, and do it.
Now, in the case where so what you're saying is, in the case where I apply for a service-disabled veteran stuff and I want it, I can't subcontract it?
You can subcontract it out to another service-disabled veteran, yes.
Okay.
You can't sub it out to just anybody. It has to be, if it's a service-disabled veteran set aside, the work has to be done by service-disabled veterans.
Okay. Gotcha. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well,
any other questions? I think Naveen's got something in the chat. DBE.
I had one more.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, if what I wanted to know, I was getting a little confused. I see, I was trying to work on some of these contracts where you can broker something, say for an example, like say like 1,000 cases of water. So, in that case, I would basically find a supplier, get the best price I could from a couple of suppliers. Let's just say it came to $1,000. I would take that $1,000 and then add a mock-up of 20% to that $1,000 to kind of get a base number. Would that be accurate?
Correct.
Okay.
And I suggest you get a couple of prices from a couple of firms so you've got backup suppliers.
Okay. Are there any suppliers that you would recommend as far as with doing business with the government, or kind of Google suppliers and find them that way?
No, I mean, I've got clients that use Walmart as a supplier, Amazon, I've got clients that have built relationships with private firms, and some of them just Google, and whenever there's something they want to bid on, they Google it and see who's got it and how much they charge for it.
Okay, absolutely. I got you.
I do suggest you always get at least 3 or 4 offers. That way you got a backup supplier in case something happens, and if your pricing's fair, if everyone's giving you the same price.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. It's good to know. At least I'm kind of on the right track.
Yeah.
All righty then. Thank you very much.
No problem. Naveen, you asked if the DV helps only on a state level. Yes and no. The DBE helps because it is a state certification, and you will get more state, local, and county government contracts because you have the DBE. The feds recognize the DBE, but there's no set aside for it. So would it benefit them to hire you because you have a DBE? Yes. It'll also help you get more subcontracts to primes, because if a prime hires you and you have a DBE, they can write that off in the ESRS as well. So the answer is yes. A DBE would help you outside of the state contracts as well. As far as is it more beneficial to be in the construction industry or IT? Either way. I mean, construction is one of the largest areas of spending with the federal government. Security and computers, software is second, freight is third. So any of those areas, IT or freight are beneficial, are big. Any other questions? Anybody else got a question, bid, solicitation, proposal to work on? No? All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut her down for the day. I'll be back on here at 4 o'clock. If you guys want to get on at 4, just email Gina, and I will talk to you then.